morning. You're watching the news around Africa on African Free Press Television. I am Leo Oketan. These are the stories we're tracking for you at this hour. Facts have emerged in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, about the plans by the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, to take over South states and others controlled by the opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, are targeted at stabilizing the party ahead of the 2019 general elections. The indications emerged following the release of a strategy paper mapped out by a committee of the ruling party, which proffered the way forward for the APC as new frontiers are needed to stabilize the ruling party ahead of 2019. It was gathered that besides the plot to take over the South, the APC is also set to unfold a plan to get rid of many PDP governors as possible by carefully demarcating the former ruling party and branding it as a heaven of corruption. Officials at the Federal Ministry of Finance have confirmed that the decision to use System Specs remitter software for Treasury single account implementation was done by the Buhari administration and not Jonathan's. The officials said the outrageous agreement for the use of remitter software as the payment platform has nothing to do with former President Goodluck Jonathan, as they did not sign any agreement. This revelation was made to an online news media, Hope for Nigeria. In a related development, according to Hope for Nigeria, Malam Umar Sani, former senior special assistant to Vice President Namadi Sambo on media, explained that their government never signed any deal with remitter System Specs. He went further to say that the government, as at the time it began the implementation of TSA through the government's Integrated Financial Management Information System, the World Bank assisted project domiciled in the office of the Accountant General of the Federation, and it was through GIFMIS that all government budget personnel, overhead, capital transfers, among others, were transactions being carried out which caused the need for remitter into question. Malam Sani added it was the new Accountant General Malam Ahmed Idris that put forward the remitter proposal, but some other directors, led by the Director for Funds, Mohamed Kiria Dekwa, vehemently opposed it on the grounds that government cannot have more than one payment platform, and instead of using remitter to implement TSA, GIFMIS should be used. The Nigerian Senate confirmed that remitter is costing Nigeria about 25 billion naira a day, and that Nigeria has been billed 60 billion naira since the Buhari administration agreed to pay the company 1% commission on the gross transaction. It is projected that Nigeria will be paying remitters, System Specs as it is called, over 6 trillion naira in a year. How much exactly has been paid to System Spec by the federal government so far remains a matter of conjecture. An official of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, who pleaded anonymity, stated that the CBN has its own customized software for electronic or e-payments and e-collections, and there was no need for the remitter. In the same vein, investigations have revealed that the Central Bank of Nigeria has recovered 8.6 billion naira deducted by a Lagos-based software firm, System Specs, which provided the e-payment or e-collections solution used for the transfer of government funds from commercial banks to the Treasury single account (TSA) domiciled with it. Throwing more light on the e-payments, e-collection remit software, which the Senate on Wednesday resolved to probe, CBN sources said the implementation of the modular solution was approved by the former CBN governor, who is currently the Emir of Kano, Alhaji Mohammed Sanusi II, and former CBN Deputy Governor Operations, Mr. Tunde Lemon, in 2011 to facilitate the transfer of government revenue to the TSA. In what can be regarded as a rare achievement and possible entry in Guinness World of Records, a Nigerian scholar, Dr. Opeyemi Enoch, has successfully solved the 156-year-old Riemann hypothesis, the most important problem in mathematics. The Riemann zeta hypothesis is one of the 7 millennium problems set forth by the Clay Mathematics Institute, with $1 million reward for each solved problem for the past 16 years. With this breakthrough, Dr. Enoch, who teaches at the Federal University Oye Ekiti, has become the fourth brain box to solve one of the 7 millennium problems in mathematics. The Kogi State-born mathematician had before now worked on mathematical models and structures for generating electricity from sound, thunder, and oceanic bodies. And according to witnesses and local officials, at least 6 people have been killed in shooting attacks and explosions in Bujumbura, the capital of Burundi. Overnight attacks on Sunday in Bujumbura came despite a United Nations plea for both sides to end the violence and attend talks. A policeman who witnessed the incident and did not wish to be named said that attackers targeted a police post in the south of Bujumbura, killing 1 police officer and injuring another. Bujumbura has been shaken by months of violence, which began when President Pierre Nkurunziza decided in April to run for a 3rd term. He won a disputed and widely boycotted election in July. Last week, the UN Security Council asked the Secretary General Ban Ki-moon to report within 15 days on options for boosting the UN presence in Burundi amid growing concern that the violence could spiral into an ethnic conflict. Scores have died in protests and killings, and hundreds of thousands have fled Burundi since Nkurunziza said he will seek a 3rd term, a move the opposition said violated the constitution and a peace treaty that ended fighting in 2005. And 7 people have been killed and 12 others wounded on Monday, being today, when a gunfight broke out in Somalia between rivals security forces as they waited for carts for food aid. Mohammed Boham, a police officer, reported that there was an exchange of gunfire between policemen who were guarding a distribution site and members from the military. 7 civilians were killed in the crossfire in the clashes just outside the capital, Mogadishu. Witnesses said the dead included children as well as elderly men and women. United Nations envoy to Somalia, Nick Kay, said he was shocked at shooting of civilians keen for food rations and added that the perpetrators must face justice. And that's the news for you around Africa, coming from African Free Press Television. For more stories, please do log on to our website at www.africanfreepress.com. Follow us on Twitter at African Free Press. Like our Facebook page at African Free Press. Please do join the discussions and throw in your comments at African Free Press Forum, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at African Free Press. From me, Leo Oketa, and the whole team in the studio this evening, it's a very good evening to you. Do enjoy the rest of your night.